meteorologist Chase Jones.
Ooh, it's me today, and I hope we really want to do this. I don't kind of want to. It's going to be difficult. It was a long week. I had a long night. Now Steven is definitely on his way out, and we're seeing a lot of that light cloud cover because we're on the countdown to inside the game finally Friday after a pretty long week. Now, next week's going to be the last week in September, and of course, we're on the lookout for a little bit of a heat wave before things drop all the way down into those 80s. Now, temperatures over the last 24 hours from those 90s down into those lower 60s, then a good run at those upper 80s, lower 90s. Where am I at right now? And we're going to see how quickly we cool off with those southerly winds, watching this cloud cover make its way in. I'm on the lookout for a little bit of rain as we get later into the weekend. 88 in San Angelo. Everybody else in a combination of lower 90s and those upper 80s across the entire area. I'm looking for 10 degrees right now because it seems pretty easy to handle. 92 in Robert Lee, 88 down there in Sonora, 86 in El Dorado. So we have our 6 degrees across the entire Concho Valley. Beautiful for Friday night football, but check the weather before you head out the door because we're not really on the lookout for much but beautiful weather. Dew points are still in those 50s and those 60s, while humidity indices are still in those 30s and those 40s. It's been this way for 3 weeks, and by next week, we're going to see some cooler temperatures finally. Now, moisture tracker. See, not even I'm in order. I was hoping the slides are in order, but we are keeping our eye on the concentrations of blue and green making their way back and forth. Now, we're going to see some light rain make its way in that afternoon thunderstorm pattern. Here is what I'm talking about. Hopefully the graphics are doing better than my explanation. Seeing a little bit of ridging, but you see a cutoff low making its way down from the northwest to the southeast, and we see another cutoff low off the west coast. And then by the middle of next week, if not by the end of it, things get pretty loose, and we're starting to see a very strong stationary boundary, but I promise you that's the indication that fall is on the way. Here's our cutoff low around parts of Iowa, and the next round off the west coast around parts of Nevada and the Four Corners. So we just have our eye on the beautiful weather making its way into the Concho Valley. Severe weather outlook is going around us again today. This is going to be the third day in a row, and down at the surface, getting a better idea, a little bit of severe weather popping up around parts of Kansas, and really keeping our eye on some of those monsoon conditions around parts of Arizona. Now, Futurecast is going to show you the afternoon thunderstorms that tried to erupt in the area, but we're really just keeping our eye on the cold air that's trying to make its way down from the north. Now, as the afternoon rolls around, the weekend rolls around, and Sunday, that's where we're going to see some of those warmer temperatures work their way in, and by Monday, somewhere around those triple digits before we cool all the way back down into those 80s by the middle of next week. So that'll be the last full week of September. Tonight for the Griff's game of the week in those upper 80s into those lower 80s. Then if you're still going strong after the game, going to level out in those lower 60s. But again, inside the game. Then tomorrow, a good run of those lower 90s. We will see you out there at Ram Jam, and I promise you there's going to be a special appearance for KSAN Weekend News, so make sure you're here after the game. Then as we get closer towards the last week of September, going to hover around those triple digits. Take a good look. By the last week of September, here comes the drop in those temperatures all the way down into those mid 80s, while those overnight lows go into those upper 50s. Stay tuned on the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.